This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. Uber beginner training. I have one completed delivery a couple days ago, and today I had 0 deliveries. However, I went to the Uber office in Hoboken, and I have some things to say that I think will be helpful to people or are starting Uber. So on my Twitter account, sometimes I follow people who post pornography, and then I unfollow them. And so my fear is that I'm going to go to my Twitter page and there's going to be pornography. So this is Drake, and but it could be pornography, and sometimes the unsolicited Twitter pornography is totally disgusting. So anyways, if that happens, it'll be an embarrassing moment. I will get past it. Okay. This is a tweet that says, I started a live broadcast. I don't know what language it's in. I don't know why it's not in English. So this is why I went to Uber in Hoboken. So this list I'm going to cover in a minute. But first I'm going to cover this. I hope I've got this one right. Nope. Okay, I can do this one now. One of the reasons I went to Uber is to get Michelle, who is my friend in the barrio, to be sure she gets credit for recruiting me. So I sit across the table from Ian at Uber in Hoboken. It's a relatively efficient system of seeing people one-on-one, and you have to wait to see these people. Once you do, they don't seem to be in a rush. And I think one of the coolest things about Uber is that you don't have to go in at all. So I've gone in twice, and it is possible to go 0 times. I will explain why I went twice. So anyways, here's one of the reasons. So this is my friend Michelle, and it says you get up to 300. Well, this is one of the things that sleazy company does. They say they throw out these up to 300. Well, you get 300, or do you get 3, or maybe 30? But you definitely get something for recruiting someone, and they're not trying to hide it. They put my name in Michelle's account, and she also has an update here. You'd have to click on it to see it. That says that tracks my progress. So she can kind of try to make me work harder. Today would have been an opportunity to do that. She would not have gotten credit for me if I did not go into Hoboken and do that. If a person puts in your referral code, this is a good time to show my referral code. If a person puts in your referral code right there, at the time he or she registers, then you get credit for that person automatically. You don't need to go to an Uber office. So that's cool. Here's the Uber office. I don't know how many of these there are. This one is sure convenient for me, given how inconvenient. Seems like everything that's cool is in New York City. So to find this and not have to go to New York to go there is great. It's cheaper, it's faster. So that's where I went today, and this is what I covered. So this is Michelle. She has an unusual spelling to her name, and this is her code. So I had to give Ian, the Uber person, Michelle's code, and that wasn't enough. He also needed her phone number, which fortunately I have in my contact list. I was not prepared to give him that. I was prepared by chance. So this is a guy I met. Bergen Line is an avenue near me. I met him by chance, and I had his code, and I thought I could get credit for recruiting him, though I don't know him, and I don't have his phone number. So I was unable to get credit for recruiting him. The next question I had is this invite code. As you can see, Michelle has no capital letters in here in hers, but then this guy's, and that's exactly how it was on his account. I took a picture of his cell phone. He dialed in his app to the code. I took a picture of it. So that's exactly the way he had it. And I did confirm with Ian, the caps are not required. Lowercase or an A or a capital A is the same thing. So if someone messes that up as they enter it, it'll accept it either way. So that was one of my questions. The next question is the minimum rating is 4.5. So if you drop below 4.5 and you're part of this Hoboken system, then you get warned that your rating is low. My current rating is 5. I have one delivery and I got a 5-star. Percent accept in rating. This is in the app. It tracks the percent accept. So when I was out and I did this one delivery, if I had gotten another one and not accepted it, then I had one delivery offered, I declined, and another delivery that I accepted. So my accept rating would be 50%. That does not go into the rating that leads to a warning. However, it's just another metric. How do they use it? I don't know. But it's not part of the calculation that gets you warned. And then tips. This is the most significant finding that I have. I got a friend who is certain accepting tips is prohibited under all conditions, and it's just not true. He heard it hearsay. I knew it was not true based on the document, and then he was convinced. This friend's name is Manish, and he's Indian. A lot of these drivers are Indian, so he is credible on this subject. He probably has relatives and friends that do this, that drive for Uber, and he's sure that tips are prohibited. You cannot accept them. But I know that the Uber Portier Services agreement has tolerance for tips. It has some cautions. You can't solicit tips, but tips are allowed. And I verified that with Ian today. I didn't really need to verify it. I knew they were accepted. I would have accepted them myself, but I wanted to say to my friend Manish that something a little bit more certain than it's in a document I read. So, by the way, Manish was sure that I was reading a document for walkers, bikers, and not for drivers, delivery people, not for transportation people, not for people transport, but yet food delivery transport. He was sure, and he was incorrect. There is one Portier Services agreement for all Uber people, whether you deliver food you walk, deliver food on a bicycle, deliver food in a car, or you transport people. It's all the same. I tweeted this twice for no good reason. And so I'm just going to go back to this. This appears in Michelle's app. That's a screen capture she got for me. So Is Michelle going to get 300? Probably not. But will she get 30? She sure should get more than 30. And now I'll know. I see Michelle from time to time. I see her less lately, but I will call her if, a couple of weeks pass and I think I'm close and I haven't seen her. So I will, on these referrals, I mean, on these referrals, here's what I made on a delivery, $2.79. Well, you can make up to 300 on a referral. Let's say up to 300 is a gross exaggeration, and you only make 100. Okay, 100. That's let's call that $3. So 3 into 90 is 10. So I don't know. Maybe I can't do the math. 12, 15. 2 into 100 is 50. So anyways, let's say 38. So 38 times more money than that one delivery I made. And potentially all I have to do is get someone to put in my code when they enroll, which is what I've done for Michelle. And so speaking of the code, one more time to the code. That's my code, listeners, if you want to put in the code. So in the first video, I described Uber as a sleazy company. And these promotions just seem so vague and overpromised, and I'm starting to think they're more forthright. They're less sleazy. They're not trying to scam all the people. I mean, they're certainly not overpaying me at $2.79 a delivery, but I don't mind getting overpaid as much as I mind getting promised to be paid more and then shorted because of some stupid reason. That's the live stream that I'm on now. This has been Tom Duty, Middle-Aged America.